Hello and good evening, good morning, good day, whenever it is that you're seeing this episode, even live right now. My name is Jonathan Bengal, and I am the host of Naked Tax Talk, where we bear down to the naked truth about your personal life, your business life, and of course, your money/tax life. I get asked all the time, why, JB, do you want to show up naked and show us your tatas? Here's why. Because getting naked is the way that I show and cultivate courage. Because there's nothing like taking it all off and truly getting down to who we really are that helps us to propel us into creating the new us, the new being, the new sense of who we are. So I skipped out yesterday. I'll make a little confession. I skipped out yesterday. And you know why? Because sometimes you just have to allow yourself to have a night off. If you're an entrepreneur, babies, this is the gift that entrepreneurship brings us. It brings us the gift of I can take a night off if I want to. It gives us the gift of I want to go on vacation with my guest that I'm about to bring on whenever I want to. It gives us the ability to take total control of our own destiny. We are responsible for our own destiny. Do we make it or do we fail? I don't like that word, actually. I just dealt with some work earlier today about the failure terms. But today's show isn't about that. Today's show is all about life. And more importantly, about something called tax-free income. And on my show, I try to bring on different guests with different viewpoints sometimes, but more importantly, different products, different services, different themselves that brings value to everyone out there who watches this show and participates. Also, I forgot to mention, but just so y'all knows, my show is in fact interactive. And I apologize. Behind the scenes, I was trying to be fancy. I wanted to be fancy. So I created like multiple folders, and all it's doing is slowing me down. Anywho's, so remember that my show is interactive. So leave your comments as we're going through it. My guest, she'll be able to also see your comments, and she'll also be able to respond back to your comments. If you've got questions about life and about the things she talks about, there's no such thing as a dumb question. And if you've got questions for me and you want to ask a question, ask a moi. I am more than happy to answer. You know, instead of paying me $2,500 for a consultation, use this time to ask all the questions you want. Plain and simple. Hola, mama. Hello, mom. My mom is my number one fan, just for the record. So she's already here in attendance, ready to watch us get to work. So without further ado, money, 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 money. So in the world of taxes, everyone who knows me and has worked with me, I work with you today. I work with you tomorrow, at the end of the year, the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, all the way until, if you like, till death. And it turns out that my guest, the founder, her name is Abby Vick. She's the founder of Paradigm Money. Oh, I'm about to butcher this. Abby, you're going to have to do this again. It's Paradigm Money Management Wealth, or Wealth Money Management. I totally botched it up. Abby, you're going to get up here, kick my butt. I'm okay with that. But here's the thing, right? Abby works in an industry like mine as well, except it's about like down the road. It's when we're getting ready to retire. It's when we are done working doing this and we want to sip on martinis together and enjoy our time. And she works to help you develop that. She's the CEO. She's the power CEO of her own enterprise. And she's going to tell us a little bit about her story about maybe, tired of working for the man and how she created this amazing company. I am also want to let you guys know that if you stay towards the end of the show, we're going to give away a secret nugget. And the secret nugget has to do with my community, the LGBTQ community. It's very personal to me, and it has something to do with life. And Abby is going to share with us a new opportunity for members of my community. And it's a game changer. And I cannot wait until we talk more about that. But we're going to do it a little bit towards the end. So you got to watch to the end, or at least skip through if you're watching this. So without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Abby Vick. Abby, welcome to my show.
Hey, thanks for having me. So happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So really quickly, I totally butchered your introduction. So would you be willing to reintroduce yourself?
I will, yes. Yeah, my company is Paradigm Money Management, so a little easier than you were giving me credit for. Um, and actually, tomorrow is our 1 year anniversary, and I'm
Ooh.
so excited about this year and everything I've learned and all the awesome people I met, including you.
Thank you so much. And I have to tell you something. I just realized this. Are you in nighty wear?
I am, yeah.
Oh
I
my
came ready.
God.
Came
Hey.
ready.
So, I have to share something with you. So my show, when we did recordings with like the whole production company, everything else, those are still on back order, so to speak. Not their fault, by the way. I'm the one who's holding on to them because I want to hold on to them like precious jewels. So all my guests wore bathrobes to interview with me. And then when I created Naked Tax Talk Raw, I was like, well, I was going to be naked. Like, what's the point of a robe? And COVID had just occurred. So what's the point? And so I forgot to ask my guests to show up in nightwear or a bathrobe, and I've had some really sexy guests actually take their shirts off and be naked here with me. But you are the first official rebirth of
Oh.
wearing the nightwear on my show. So thank you, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, I had to find a cute one because I was embarrassed with my super fluffy one before. So it's too hot in Arizona to have a robe.
That is so true. By the way, so let's get to that. So, Abby, I know, so you are the CEO of your Paradigm Money Management.
Yes.
And give us a little bit about what it is that you do and who do you work with. And, this is your traditional intromercial, right? So go ahead and share with us.
I would love to. I'm so excited about where my company is going. My clients are women business owners who are Gen X or millennial. You're really in the beginning stages of growing your business, maybe like year 1 to 5, and you're trying to build wealth. I want my clients to build wealth with me for the long term, for the short term. How do we make those decisions? How do we set ourselves up for success? And how do we enjoy it? I'm not here to tell you, like, don't buy that latte, don't buy that fancy car. Those aren't the conversations I want to have. I want to talk about earning more money, building your wealth, and having sustainable wealth, so that you can enjoy the rest of your life.
Oh my, thank you so much. Listen, I'm a tax dude, right? And it's kind of like dating. Everybody wants in my pants. Everybody. All the financial advice. Am I right? You're a financial advisor. You get this. Your best partners are
Our accountants and CPAs.
accountants and CPAs, right?
Yeah.
Like we're like the best bed buddies ever, right? Just don't
Yeah.
tell my husband, don't tell yours. So like we're always like the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So crap, I forgot where I was going with all that fun. I was about to do something fun. I already forgot. Darn it. Okay, needless to say. So that's it, shaming. So I hear a lot of financial advisors out there, from the big gurus to the little gurus, that say things like, you want more money in your pocket? Spend less. You want more money in your pocket? Buy less lattes, right? I'm sorry, but as a former coffee addict, I ain't giving up my coffee. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear you say that it's not about like, I'm gonna tell you to stop buying your lattes. I think that you already have my interest. Say what now?
Oh, good. Well, and I want to say this is a great example, and I want to give credit where credit is due because I'm stealing it from Sally Krawcheck, who's the CEO of Ellevest in New York City. But this is her example. She says women think about money like a pond. So here's my pond. This is my money. I got to protect it. I got to save. I got to pay down my debt. I'm going to nurture my pond, nurture my pond, nurture my pond, right? And men traditionally think of money as a river. It's always coming. It's always going. It's always coming. If too much goes, more is going to come. It'll be fine, right?
Yes.
And so I really want to change the way that women think about money. And part of that has to be women need to talk about investing. Women have to talk about retirement, and women need to be confident in their earning ability and in paying themselves and in growing their business and growing their empire. And it's not a dirty word to say, I'm a CEO who wants to be wealthy. And that's my truth. That's what I want. I want to be successful. And I want that for my clients. And I want to help them get to that stage. So is what we do.
We already knew we were kind of two peas in a pod because although I'm not a woman physically, obviously, but my feminine energy, of course, is very much here. I mean, hello.
Yeah.
And of course, I happen to be passive in French. But I happen to be a bottom, which is kind of like when I was younger, and my community probably get a little upset with me, but when I was younger, people would always say that, like, so are you like the girl or the guy in the relationship? And it used to fume me, it used to make me pissed because I was like, what does that have to do with my relationship? But what I finally figured out is that that's how people can kind of get in their head like what role you're playing on. Now, mind you, you can have some people that are versed. They like to flip flop back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's not how I was designed. So, needless to say, I get what you're saying because even as an effeminate man like myself,
Mm-hmm.
believing that I was worth it and believing I had the capacity to make millions of dollars
Yeah.
scared the bejesus out of me,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so I love it because you're taking on this role of like, I am that powerful CEO and
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about the wealth babies. And then I'm like, and you work with people who are, and you said 1 to 3 years. So that's my startup phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my startup. What are some challenges you face with the startup phase when it comes to working with you as a financial advisor?
That's a great question. I think, again, my demographic is mostly women. So a lot of women start off maybe in a service-based business and they think, I'm just going to do it on the side. I'll see how it goes. And they might not be fully invested themselves into really seeing the potential. Even though it's something they love and something they really believe in, they can't fully be invested and they have trouble with that. And I think, one of those reasons, I'm always thinking from the financial perspective, but one of those reasons is women are held back by money a lot. I mean, women don't leave relationships because they don't have enough money to leave and sustain their own lifestyle, or they don't start a business. They don't leave their job. They feel like they're, practically married to their boss because I can't leave. I need that paycheck. And so part of that leap is like, let's really treat this like a business in every way. You're starting a business. Let's be serious about it. Let's invest the time, invest the money, invest the capital, and invest all your energy into this. And so that's kind of the conversations is like, I see the potential in you. I want you to see the potential in you. And there are just some tricks along the way that I've picked up as a financial advisor and working with people like you. I mean, it's my job to partner with people that are going to help you be successful. And that might be, Jonathan's business, that might be an estate planning attorney, that might be a business attorney. I mean, whatever the situation is, let's get you moving in the right direction because, that's how you really do feel confident and build that wealth.
I love that because that's probably my number one like complaint, or number one question I should say people ask me, and that is the separation. It's part. By the way, it's gonna be part of my brand new 6-week program that's coming out. So be on the lookout. If you're watching my program,
Oh, great.
be ready in the next couple of weeks. I'm launching it. It's my 6-week program. It's going to take us from what's going to take us to making more money and paying less taxes. Like this is what it's going to be about. And the one thing I'm going to cover is something called the separation of the I. And that's essentially what you just brought up, which is if you're going to wake up, babies, and you're going to be like, I am done with working for somebody, right? I'm going to take charge of my own destiny, right? I'm going to break up with the dude who's holding me hostage with a paycheck. I'm going to leave the man who keeps threatening me that he's going to break up with me and then leave me penniless, right? It's that moment when you wake up and you say, beep at all, because I am going to take charge of my destiny. And what you said was beautiful because what you said was, if we're going to start a baby, let's be real, right? A business, AKA baby. If we're going to give birth to a baby, to a business, then let's treat it like one from the very beginning.
Right.
That's what I did. Did you do that too, Abby?
I did. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of a person that jumps in both feet, and this is not my first business. So I knew like when I was holding myself back before, I wasn't connecting with my clients. I wasn't getting my message across. I wasn't able to really explore all the possibilities because I was scared. I didn't see the opportunities. And I think that's my goal when I work with clients is there are so many more opportunities than you can see for yourself right now. I mean, that's the message. It's not don't buy the latte, don't buy the car, let's restrict your spending. It's let's open up your eyes. There's more. You have more than a pond. Let's open up your arms and see what else is out there. And that to me is what financial planning should be about. It shouldn't be about some stupid $5 latte. It's about the world of possibilities. And wealthy people can think that way. And it's a shift in thinking.
It is, and it's letting go of the doubt monsters, you know what I mean, that kind of reside. it's the fear, right? It's the fear
Yeah.
of I'm not going to close a deal. In fact, I had an episode a while ago called "The Power of No" and how confidence impacts value. But the truth of the matter is it's that fear, it's that doubt. So when someone comes to us, right,
Hmm.
and like, let me ask you something, Abby. Do you negotiate your rates?
Do I negotiate my rates? Not typically, no.
No, right? Why would we? Right? Because we know our value,
Right.
right? Like, that's what it boils down to. Abby, you know you're valuable?
Yes.
How do you know you're valuable? Tell the world how you know you're the top dog CEO of your company.
I know because I believe it. I know because I've seen the change in my clients' lives, and I know that it's power. I know the work that I do is meaningful, and I put all my energy into that.
See, I think that's beautiful. I mean, I think that is so beautiful. Here's what I love about you, Abby, because you're a vital component to proactive tax planning, right?
Yeah.
Because I find all the legal loopholes and I tell people how much money they left on the table. And
Mhm.
then I say, so, like your 16-year-old child that's just bumming around the house, let's put them to work.
Yeah.
And then they go, but they're gonna spend it everywhere. Like they're gonna spend, then I'm gonna pick up the phone and that's when I'm like, yo, so Abby, check this out. I got this client, they're gonna hire their kid. And
Mhm.
Abby, do you happen to know what happens when parents hire their kids where they could put that money?
Yeah.
Where? Tell us where they can put the money.
I do. So you have a lot of opportunity. I mean, again, you have a lot of opportunities in your business, right? And there's lots of ways to save on taxes, to save for the future, all these things. So you could help your kid, even if they're young, doing part-time work. If they're making income, they can start having a retirement account and seeing what that experience is like. And it's a great way to save. It's a great way to take out some of their money before it hits their bank account and put it aside. Teach them a little bit about stock investing. I mean, these things are really important to learn young, because learning those habits young is so much easier than trying to learn it when you're 45. I mean, I have clients that are trying to learn how to invest and learn to save and having that habit for the first time at 45 or 47. And it's painful, and they got to save a lot to make it up. So if you can learn that habit early, that's phenomenal. That's going to take you far.
And of course, this does boil down to like one having like the resources to do that and the ability to do that. But let's be real. You and I work with clients that typically have pretty good cash flow for the most part, that they can, in fact, most of my clients already are set up in investments of some kind, retirement plans of some kind right there. They're already doing that. But what is, when you say like we can get our kids to start working on their savings and retirement and stuff, is there like a dollar value? Is there a minimum? Is there like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, the easiest one to talk about is an IRA, right? So as long as you're earning income in some capacity, in any capacity, and you're telling the government about it, you can put that in an IRA. So an IRA, you can save up to $6,000 a year, and you can do it pre-tax or after tax, whatever your prerogative is. And whatever fits according to your plan. And I'm sure, there's some benefits to both, right? And this is stepping into your area, but with pre-tax money, you're saving within that year. You can claim some deductions from that year. But with Roth money, you're putting in after-tax money, and all the growth on that money is not going to be taxed. I mean, as long as you take it out in the right way, and we can talk about all that, but all that money is not taxed. And where do we think taxes are going? I mean, you probably talk about this with people all the time, right? I mean, historically, if you look at the federal tax, we're pretty reasonable. We're pretty low compared to how taxes have been over, since taxes existed in the United States. And whatever happens with the government next, with them taking out more debt, and debt's always increasing. I mean, Social Security, Medicare, all those things are getting more expensive, not less. So where could taxes go in the future? And if you want to give yourself different options with accounts, you can have an after-tax account, you can have a tax-free account, you could have a pre-tax account. And then when you're retired, you're actually using the money, you have more than one option. You have more than one tax option. So not 100% of your money, every dollar you pull out of your account is going to have to be taxed at 30% or whatever the amount is. So I love, again, I say it all the time. I know I'm so redundant, but options, options, options. You want to have options, especially when you're going into retirement or you're doing these long-term goals, because you don't know what the future holds. We don't know. And so putting all your eggs in one basket, right, is not always the best situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you overcome the entrepreneur's thought process of, well, I don't have to save.
Mm.
I don't have it right now, or I don't have to save. Like, how do we overcome that? How do we overcome that?
Oh man, it's hard, to be honest. If we're not starting early in life with those savings habits, it's a hard thing to learn. But what I walk my clients through is financial advisors talk about retirement all the time because it's the biggest investment you're ever going to make. It's the most money you have to save in your entire life and your whole experience, which is why we're so obsessed with talking about it.
Right.
And so when we walk through a scenario, I say, okay, look, let's just be realistic. Let's be realistic with each other. If you're planning on retiring in 20 years, 25 years, whatever the number is, let's work backwards and say, I need X amount of money to retire happily and to enjoy my retirement and not have to work until I'm 80 years old. I mean, isn't that everyone's goal? So whatever that number is, we walk backwards and we say, look, I mean, this is the reality. This is how far you are away from your savings goal. And there's no time better than the present to change what you're doing. I mean, there's no more time to wait. You don't have time to wait. So, it's kind of a come to Jesus moment, right? Where I have to call them out a little bit and just say, look, we have to look realistically at this picture, and you can make the decision. You're free to make whatever decision you want with your money. But if your decision is, I want to relax in my retirement, I don't want to work until I'm 80, I don't think my family is going to be taking care of me, or I don't want them to take care of me, okay, then we need to be a little bit more serious about this conversation.
That's it. And that's important, right? Like, that is the truth, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's about you are truly serious about making an impact, about changing your direction of where you're going, right?
Yeah.
It's so true, because we hear this phrase, right? We can take a horse to the trough, but only the horse will choose to drink it, right?
Yeah.
And I know that when we work on ourselves, Abby, I'm sure you've done this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that when I started working on this beautifulness right here, and I started accepting this beautifulness and really truly embracing who I am, which is really the personal development, my business, of course, took off and increased. I'm a #1 best Amazon seller as of Tuesday this week.
I know.
Right?
Amazing.
Best seller, best author, and best international author, right? Like, it's about like, oh, that feels so good, right? Like, it's about embracing that, right? Because then when we do that, the money side also increases, right? And I forgot where I was going with all that jazz. Other than you're absolutely right. It's about changing the mindset. It's about going, okay, I can give $10. I remember. So I think I shared this with you privately, Abby, and many people who know me know that I say this all the time. I come from extreme poverty, right? Like, no money, honey. And my mom, she had a very strict budget, $500 a month, and that's all we lived off of. And so to not have anything was something that was definitely part of my story, part of my childhood and everything else. And I remember when I turned about 19 or 20, it was my mentor, thank goodness, who actually got me into accounting. I shift majors from teaching to accounting because of him. And he said to me, start buying stocks, start buying Southwest, buy this, buy that. And I started buying, and I was putting in like $10, because that's all I could have at the time. And surprise, surprise, Southwest was actually the best performing stock since I've owned it. But needless to say, just that little teaser of what was possible. And you know this as much as I do, but would you agree? When you invest and retire, it's actually one of the largest legal gambling events in your entire, like, you can actually partake. So much so that Uncle Sam loves to gamble. He himself has a gambling problem, and he's okay with subsidizing it. Am I right?
I like that. Yeah.
You know about it, right?
I mean, I love your example, and I've heard that from a few other people who are also very successful now when they started when they were young with $10, right? And I think people really underestimate the power of of interest. Why am I losing my words? And when you're adding to that every year, and it adds on your growth, and it adds on your growth, and it adds on your growth, I mean, it can make a huge difference. And when you give yourself the time to do that, when you start when you're younger, you're really going to see an immense amount of growth. I mean, if you look at the history of the stock market, it's gone in an upward direction. And it's hard to maybe say that now when we've experienced what's happening with Corona, which I understand. I understand that the volatility makes people nervous, but I want to flip the script in your head. Like, volatility is opportunity. The most millionaires are made when stuff like this happens in the market. When that stuff happens, it is an opportunity, right? Yeah. And if you're working with someone that you trust, and you work with someone that really put together a full plan for you and for your future, you can see these kind of things happening in the market, and not like, my entire future is at stake. It's not. If you're working with someone that has a plan, and you agree on the plan, and you understand the plan, you can just lay in your bed at night and have peace, because that's my job. I got your back. We have backup plans on our backup plans, because the world is unpredictable. And so when you work with a financial advisor, they should be preparing you for the unpredictable. That's my entire job, is to make sure that you're going to be okay.
I have two things that came to my mind when you were talking. And so one is a spiritual question I have for you, and one is about volatility, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And so don't let me forget, because I can forget sometimes. But okay. And also the world should know this, but I forget half the shit I say. And that's because I finally realized a long time ago that I just get in tune with the universe, and whatever comes out, comes out. And right. Abby and I right now, we're cruising the same channel right now. Like, that's the vibe I pick up. We're like, boom, boom. So Abby, you don't have to get religious with me here, but when it comes, would you say you have some type of spirit or some type of faith or something like that in a higher power?
Yes, I'm connected.
Yeah, great. So like me too, right? Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is just thought just like crossed my head while you were talking, like in real time. So this is how JB comes up with ideas. Yeah. So you talked about an interest and how the power of interest, right? The power of interest. And I remember when I was in my accounting class, and we talked about how interest is really the cost of taking the money and putting it somewhere else. Otherwise, you could have had that money to go do something with it that you wanted to do with it, right? This is interest. But let me respin it and say, but what if interest is actually a higher power? Mm. Our gods, our Buddhas, our universes, our beings, right? When we have self-doubt and fear, right? We hopefully turn to a higher power, a higher being, don't we? And we go, we know you will take care of us. We know they will provide for us. And in many ways, isn't that kind of what we're saying when you say, look, if you put $10, $100, or you cap it out, in this case with the IRS regular rules, but the point is, if you put it in, you're leading it to interest, right? Yeah. It just keeps going up. As you just said it right now, year after year after year, it goes up. If you don't ask either one of us, we don't know what we're talking about. You can just go look at your high interest credit card you're paying interest on, 26%.
Yes.
Like, go look at your card. Am I right? Because here's the truth. The interest works the same way, right, Abby? Like, you can either give it to an IRA, traditional SEPs, all these other wonderful programs, or life insurance, right? We can give it there, and it can grow with interest, right? Or I can go put it on a credit card and give the credit card company 26% interest.
Exactly. For the pleasure of holding your money.
For the pleasure of holding our money, baby. And they're not getting tickled. I mean, they are, because they're like, fools. So I'd rather tickle myself. I'd rather I enjoy a solo play. So I might as well do that and put the money into a savings account where it's going to grow. And not just savings, of course. We know it's more than that. I love what you just said. So my second was volatility, right? That's the nervousness, that's the fear, that's all of that bull, right? And what I'm about to say something here, and that is this. Through volatility and vulnerability comes greater outcomes, comes a greater reward. Am I right?
Yeah, I love that.
You know this as a powerful CEO that you are. Look, you showed up authentically as you in a beautiful nightwear for me. So thank you, right? And I mean, you showed up as you, authentically you, the way I showed up authentically me. That's being vulnerable. That's the volatility of things going like this.
That's
And
right.
so we turn to interest. Oh gosh, I'm about to commit, blasphemy. But oh, interest, you will guard me and watch over me and make sure my money continues to grow, right?
Uh, and then you hire a guardian angel to make sure it's all working out in your favor.
Boom!
I love it.
That's what we're talking about. Abby Vick is your guardian angel. If you don't have an Abby Vick, you got to get out there and get an Abby Vick, right?
That's right. That's right.
That's
I love your analogy. Yeah, because you're right. It is, again, going back to the pawn thing, like, women, a lot of us are told when we're young, like, save, it's okay, pay down the credit card. So, like, all the millennial and Gen X women that I meet, they're the ones handling paying down debt, all the expenses for the kids, all the expenses for the house. They're in charge of the money. But yet when I bring up the word investing, they're like, no, I don't do that. Like that's my husband's thing, right? Like that's a scary thing. Risk is scary. And I want so badly to change how we talk about investing as women. I want so badly to change that conversation on our relationship because, I mean, I want to switch the script to like, money is something that flows. It can flow to me. It's going to flow to me. I believe in my gifts. I believe in what I can sell. I believe in how I can work. I believe that, going back to your metaphysical, like the universe has my best interest in mind, and I can take risks because I can always make more money, right? I mean, the stock market is going to do its thing. It's going to go up and down based on what Trump says or whoever else. And like, that's fine, whatever. I'm good with that because I know I have a plan. I know I have someone I can rely on. I talk to someone about my money too, because like a good counselor, like it's good to have that outside perspective because money is so emotional. Money is so emotional. It's so hard to make the right decision. Yes. And men, I mean, talking to you too, don't just blame it on the ladies being emotional. Men make crazy emotional decisions about money all the time. So it's good to have someone on your side, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah, well, that's because money's dirty. Don't you know that? Money's really dirty. Okay, right. It's like it's filthy delicious. Just saying, it's like filthy delicious. It's interesting because, like, I know when I was growing up, again, I grew up on a fixed income with my mother, right? And I was 12 years old. I started writing checks for my mom on her behalf, helping my mom out. And again, she's watching my show, so she's well aware of this stuff. And my mom was one of 15 children. My grandparents had 15 kids. Wow. And Mom, one day, I swear, you know what? That's it, Mom. That's it. I'm going to have you come on my show. In fact, right now, I'm going to go to the calendar, right?
Do it. That'd be awesome.
Because you know what? Here's the truth about it. Here's the truth, right? Money or being an entrepreneur, being in business, isn't it half the time, Abby, taking action?
Absolutely. Just do something.
I think 99% of the time it's because we're taking action. So mother, listen up. Clear a schedule.
Yes, already. I can see her comment. She's ready to go.
She's ready. Perfect. You're cleaning out your schedule. Bringing you on here July 23rd. It's 2 weeks away. It's another 2 weeks from Thursdays. And we're going to hash this out. We're going to bring you on here. I want the world to hear your side of the story because as we both know, there's two sides to the same coin. And so mark your book. You're coming on my show. See, she's 63 years old. Yes, and she's ready to rock and roll. So my thing about this, Abby, is so growing up, and it wasn't my mom. Let's be real here. I mean, it wasn't my mom that said crazy shit about money. It never was. It was my environment that I was growing up in. And again, you can't control that, right? It is what it is. And it's the people you hear around you that say the stupid shit, like only wealthy people have money. Or people are greedy when they make too much money. Can you imagine greed, right? Like the more money they make, the greedier they get, right? The more evil they become, the more this, and so what happens is it crept in my mind subconsciously that there never will be any money. And it's over there. Like other people have the nice yachts, the nice houses, the nice cars. For the record, I don't have my yacht yet, but it's coming. Like right? Like it's over there.
Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, there's a lot of mindset around deserving that we have to like work through. But I was raised by two teachers, and so they, they're of the belief that like you have to work really hard for the person that's your boss. You got to please your boss. You got to do what they say. And of course, I'm completely different. So I was raised like, that boss is stupid. I know how to do what I'm doing. I'm going to help the clients that I want to help, right? Because I'm stubborn and opinionated. So, but they, it's kind of how I rejected a little bit of how I was raised. Is just I don't really want to work that hard. I don't want to work 14-hour days for somebody else. I want to work for myself. I want to build my own business. I want to work with the clients that are meaningful to me and not the ones that you say I have to do that with. So it's definitely a mindset shift. And I think, that's something that I work with my clients is let's think through like, okay, you're happy at your W-2 job and that's fantastic. You have a company that you think is there for you. But I have to break it to you, like that company is there for their bottom line, not for you. And if you are not serving what they want to serve anymore, they don't have any loyalty to you. And I think we're kind of seeing that with Corona right now too, because there's been such a shakeup in people's work and getting furloughed and not getting pay. And so I really want to talk to even normally I talk to like 1099 contractors and small business owners, but even if you're a W-2 person, I want to talk to you about owning your own benefits, right? Because like companies have benefits packages because it helps them retain employees or it helps bring employees in, right? Because I have a fancy 401k and a fancy life insurance policy. And if you work for me, you're going to get all these cool benefits. And that's great until the second you don't work for them, you don't have any of it anymore. Any of it, right? So you work for them for 20 years. You've always used their life insurance. And you've paid into a life insurance program that you don't own at all. It's completely gone. It's only valuable if you die while you're still working for them. So that's just one example, but like the companies don't have loyalty is what I'm trying to say. And so we still have to take care of ourselves. We still have to say, these are the benefits that I deserve. These are the benefits that my family deserves. And we're going to go out and get them on our own, because I don't ever want to be handcuffed to a boss, handcuffed to a company. I want to be able to leave and be free and make the decisions that make the most sense for me. And I'm tired of women feeling like they owe a company or they owe a boss something. You don't. You don't.
You're nailing it. You're nailing it. You're nailing it, nailing it. As a dude, as a gay man too,
Yeah.
what I can tell you is that women, listen to me very carefully, listen to me very, very carefully. You are freaking powerful. And here's why. Because what I learned when I was about 2, 3 years ago now is that women do have all the power, and men are so freaking afraid of it that they created rules and laws since the beginningless time to make you second-class citizens. So listen to what Vicky is saying, Abby is saying, because it's about owning your power. It's about stepping into your truth. Am I right?
You're so right. Yeah.
Right.
Money's a big deal. Money has a lot to do with that. Like, fortunately, unfortunately, whatever your view is, money has a lot to do with women feeling free or women feeling trapped. So we gotta fix that.
That's it right there. I keep hearing this, that fear is false appearances, something real, false experiences appearing real, something like that. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, I think so.
Which makes sense because it's all done up here in this thing, the head, right?
Mhm.
Not the mind, but the head. And the head is the one that's afraid of the unknown. It's the volatility in the stock market, for example.
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of, so I know, Abby, because I can talk too much. Do you have an overcoming fear technique or mechanism that you tap into as the awesome CEO that you are?
Oh, I'm so happy you asked. That's awesome. I'm doing a much better job at it lately than I have in a really long time. And it's partly, half of it is meeting people that that are your cheerleaders, that care about what you're doing, right? Because you're always, as a business owner, as a human, you're always going to meet people that you don't vibe with, and they don't understand what your mission is. They don't really understand what you care about. And I think I've spent too much time with those people. And the last year of being a business owner, I've just put myself out there. Anyone that has been able to hear my message has heard it. And some people have been like, no, that's not for me. Okay, no problem. But I've really hung on to the people that have responded well and get me and get what I want to do and are on the same path. And so I'm trying to surround myself more with those people. So that's been huge. And the other part of it is I have to tap into this. I have to be ready myself, because like when you're a part of a culture that's different than you and you're constantly swimming upstream, and you know, it's hard. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of work. And if I don't constantly tap into like, why am I here? What am I doing? What's my mission? I can really get lost in, you know, in the mess and the noise. So it's like having people that really care about you and are really cheering for you and want you to be successful. And then also being that person for yourself. And, you know, that's been huge. I've gotten some momentum just by those two things recently. So
That's beautiful. I mean, 'cause isn't that the truth, right? Like you just said, like, oh, I did this for myself.
yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me do a rain check on that. Wait.
Yeah.
I did this? Me? Little old me? Like, you know, because it's true about entrepreneurs, right? We forget to remind ourselves of the glory that we produce. We forget to remind ourselves of this is what we created. And we're talking about women too at this moment, right? Like women, right? It's like, if I may be frank, if you gave birth, like my mother gave birth to me, that's a fucking accomplishment. Pardon my language, but it's kind of true. True.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, the power behind that. It's no different than looking back and going, like, I remember when I first hit my first 200,000 in gross revenue. I remember going, oh shit. I did that.
Yeah.
I did. Lonesome on me. I did that. I don't have business partners. I have a lot of partners. Don't get me wrong, referral partners and clients, and I always give thanks. But like, I did that.
Yeah.
It's a reminder to remind ourselves what we've done. Abby, what is something that you've done in your life that sometimes you forget that you did that?
Oh man. Well, I've given birth twice, and I hope never to again. But both of those experiences, you're like, I didn't die, I made it, and I have something super powerful in my arms. So that's, I mean, your kids always remind you, like, sometimes they remind you that you're not very important because they have other agendas, but for the most part, like, that's a little bit of me, that's a little bit of my heart running around in the world, and that's really important to me. But you know, building this business has taught me, having kids and building your business, like, I don't think there's anything else that can teach you more about yourself and make you look in the mirror and be honest with yourself and who you are and what you see. And this is an ugly thing, and I got to address that. I mean, it's just a constant reminder.
Ooh,
but
can I say something? May I say something?
Tell me. Yeah.
May I interject?
Yes.
You open to a thought?
Please. Please.
I love everything that you said up to the last second.
Oh, okay.
And that was about the ugly stuff in the mirror. So, so if I may, hold on, because this is a great point for me. This is a great point. Okay, Abby, check this out. Are you ready? Let me see if I can explain this in as little time as I can, because it's really powerful, because you already tapped into it. So I'm about to, like, girl, you're about to knock it out. I'm just going to say.
Okay. All right.
But before I do, I got to get me a prop. So while I do that, will you just tell our audience a little bit about this thing called life insurance?
Sure.
And I'm gonna go get a prop.
Are we gonna get to life insurance? I'm just kidding.
We're gonna get to, well, that's what we're gonna do right now. Wait,
You blocked me out. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to share a little bit of a story of why I think it's really important to own your own life insurance and to not just let your employer take care of it for you. Even though it's cheaper, I understand it's cheaper, but hear me out. So I had a client who worked at a job for 20 years. So they're in their 50s now. And 20 years ago, they started out an employer. And so the employer usually has maybe a term insurance policy that's a group for the entire company. And they're going to replace 1 time your income, maybe 2 times your income, right? And so they made a choice like, I'm going to do 7 times my income. I'm going to pay even more into this program, and I'm going to do 7 times my income and really cover my family. Well, 20 years later, now they have heart condition and they want to leave their job, but they're going to be leaving this entire benefit that for the last 20 years they've paid into. They can't take a dime of it with them, even though they've been made every payment that they've had to. And now that they have a condition, it's really difficult to find them a policy that covers them and that's affordable. And they're 20 years older, right? So at 35, I could have found them a very affordable policy that they could have kept their entire life. It could have had cash benefits and the whole bells and whistles. But now that they're older and they have a heart condition, it's so expensive. I'm not sure it makes sense. So that's another, it's a reason to own your own policies because you can take them wherever you want to go.
And that's interesting because, again, as I talked about before, my mother understood the core value of life insurance. For as poor as we were, she allocated every month, I think it was like $30 a month, to cover all 3 of us, my mom and her 2 sons, with life insurance. This is a woman who, again, $500 is all she ever took in.
Wow.
And her $30, I mean, $30 to someone who barely gets $500 a month is like a bajillion dollars.
Yes.
And even she saw the value in paying for life insurance. So share with us a product that entrepreneurs can tap into that yields tax-free income down the road.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah. So I think the easiest life insurance example is term insurance. So you pay in, and as long as you're paying your premium, you have a death benefit. But that's it. There's no bells and whistles. That's the dry product. But really, there's permanent insurance, and you can have a cash account that grows. So as long as, we're not going to touch it for a while, this is a more long-term investment, but it has both the death benefit that you want to cover your family if anything happened to you, and it has the cash value as well. And so as a business owner, you could protect your business, protect your family, and have your business pay for it out of the expenses, right? But as the cash account grows, now you can borrow from the cash account. So it's technically a loan, but you're pulling the money out, and all that money that you're pulling out is tax-free because it's written into the federal code that life insurance is tax-free. And then you can choose if you want to pay back the loan, or if you don't, it just takes the death benefit down dollar for dollar. So those are things to think about, but you could have access to tax-free money, like having an emergency savings account where you never have to pay taxes on it. It grows with the market, or it grows with an interest rate, whatever you want to set up. And then every dollar you put in has 2 purposes, right? So the first purpose is the death benefit, and the other purpose is the cash value. So you're really, adding another option to your portfolio, protecting your family. It just serves so many purposes that you can use down the road.
And the reason why it's tax-free coming out is because it's typically not a deduction allowed, even in business, and there's certain circumstances. If you want to know those circumstances, let's get naked at nakedtaxtalk.com. But very rarely are those premiums deductible. That makes sense, because if I'm not going to pay taxes taking the money out, including the growth, then therefore I'm not going to pay. If it comes out tax-free, it's because I wasn't allowed to reduce my current income, which of course means less taxes, right? So this is why this benefit is there. And insurance, it turns out, is one of the most highly protected industries in the United States as it relates to tax law. Because why, Abby? Tell me what happens. I'm so damn broke. I go and I file for bankruptcy. What's protected?
Your policy is protected. So thanks for the easy question.
Right?
Yeah.
They can't come after that life insurance. So you could be broke ass poor.
Yeah.
They can't touch your life insurance.
Yeah. And 100% of people die. I know it's a silly thing to say, but And we don't know when. So that's why I talk to my clients about permanent insurance, because you will, and at some point you're going to want to, maybe it's just giving part of your wealth to the next generation. Maybe it's covering debt after you pass. Maybe it's providing income for whoever's left that's still living in your home. There's so many different purposes for passing on the death benefit. But I found the statistic recently is only 2% of people die when they hold a term policy. So those short-term policies, they're 5, 10, 20, 30 years, only 2% of term policies actually pay out. So you're just paying all this money to an insurance company and they're sticking it in their pocket, right? So you might as well have a policy that you could have until you die, whenever that is. And on day one, you get the benefit, the full death benefit, right? So even with my first payment, which might be $50, $100, $150, whatever you decide it is, I get the full death benefit of maybe it's $1 million if I die the next day that I open my policy. So it's a huge return on investment over time.
So we're going to get to what I'm going to show you, because I got my profits right here.
Okay,
but now I created a whole new, we call this a loop. So I have a whole new loop that was created. So if you want to find out what I'm going to do with Abby after we're done talking about life insurance, now your ass has to watch longer or So, but I have my profits right here. But before we get there, though, I want to talk about another major community. And that community is my community. It's the LGBTQ plus community. And we all know that in the 80s, we had the big AIDS epidemic that came out. And of course, would take countless lives, including my own relatives, friends' lives. It would infect, as we know, millions and millions of people around the world. And it would become and is a large economic impact to those surviving with Hector, Igor, and Victor. That's what I call it, Hector, Igor, and Victor, HIV. And of course, AIDS. And we both know that in life insurance, they like to put in their exclusions because it makes sense, right? Because if everyone died at the same time, they would go bankrupt. So they put in blocks, cock blocks. And so, right, they put in cock blocks. So one of the cock blocks is if you are a person that's living with HIV or AIDS or have had AIDS, because you go from HIV to AIDS. It's not one or the other. It's HIV to AIDS. And when you are considered to have full-blown AIDS when your CD4 count is less than 200. To give you an idea, the average healthy individual has 1,200 CD4 counts at any one time. When you get below 200, you now have full-blown AIDS. And so that can cause trauma for somebody, I should know. So once you come above that, then of course you are just considered having HIV. So life insurance, since I was a kid, I grew up in the 90s with the fear of dying of AIDS. So we always were told that you're not going to get life insurance because you're gay and that puts you at risk, which meant that, you could get HIV and then you would ultimately not get insurance. So this has been true for decades. But Abby, when you and I privately talked, I put you on a mission. And so you did find something. So would you share with me and my community what you found?
I would love to, yes. So yeah, I wanted to find an option. And right now, unfortunately, with the coronavirus going crazy, some insurance companies have tightened up because they're expecting a lot of deaths, and there have been a lot of deaths from corona. And so they're being even more strict at this time. And we don't really know when that's going to be undone or they're going to change their policies or whatever. But I did find a term product that you can apply for without any medical underwriting. So, and there's a few different circumstances that kind of weed you out of the process. But like I was saying with a client with a heart condition, the reason he wouldn't qualify for life insurance is because he might, they take out conditions that could lead to death in the near future, right? Because they want to keep their prices low and they don't want to pay out all these insurance claims at the same time, like you were saying. And so heart conditions could be some of that. Some cancers could be part of that. What else I have a client who's on Prozac that I'm having trouble getting approved for. And of course, HIV is one. So it's really important that I found this product, that it is a term insurance product, but that means it's more affordable to more people, which I know can be a huge hindrance to getting insurance in general is, man, there's so many fees and this is crazy. So trying to find something affordable that really has the coverage. There's a lot of things to look at. But this one, I believe it's a $50,000 death benefit. So it's not a huge amount. It's not going to replace your income for several years, but it's enough to hopefully get your family members by, to pay for the funeral expenses, maybe pay off some debts, some of those things that could really hinder their lifestyle. So it's a great opportunity to just buy into the policy. As long as you can make your monthly payments on the program or your yearly payments, you can have the policy. So I'd be happy to talk to anyone more about that. And if you have some health concern and you're not sure if you qualify for something, I'm definitely here for you.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? So if you are out there in the community and you are positive and you're an entrepreneur, or maybe not, you're just a regular Joe Schmo, and you are not a regular Joe Schmo, you're a hot Joe Schmo.
Right, of course,
and you are going, you know what? I do want to watch out for my spouse, or I want to watch out for my family. And she said, $50,000, it's not a lot of money, but if, let's say, for example, your household, average Americans today live with about $20,000 in credit card debt or more.
For sure.
So imagine that 50,000, like she just said, would pay for that debt to go away, which now frees up their burden, right? Because we don't want to leave a burden behind. And then the second thing that it does for our loved ones is that it pays for that funeral cost, which, by the way, for the record, my husband already, I joke a lot all the time, and we've already agreed that you're just going to burn the body and then you're going to put it in like soil or do something with it, throw it in the ocean. I don't know. Anyways, like, save the money, go spend it on the things you want to go do. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So needless to say, that's my own philosophy, just saying. But it's beautiful because this is a number one conundrum that us gay people face. It's another area of blatant discrimination. Everyone else seems to be able to get insurance, but the moment you have something else, it's immediate. It's constant reminder of discriminating against you. I'm sure at a time, hello, look at you, Abby, look at women. We're still fucking fighting about contraceptives and health insurance.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, by the way, for all my viewers out there that are women, with the CARES Act that just passed, thank God you got a reasonable person that are women running this country, and in certain parts we need more. Because guess what they did? Did you know, Abby, now you can deduct all your feminine hygiene as a medical-related expense?
Yay.
And if you're a business owner and you work with someone like me, there's a loophole that actually allows your business to deduct that cost on your behalf.
That's amazing.
So, just saying. So, and what that means is 15.3% tax savings. That's what that means. Being able, Abby, you as a woman who has feminine products is about to save 15.3% in your taxes. How does that make you feel?
About time is how it makes me feel.
So, I often say all the time, my book that just came out this week, you can pre-order it still from Amazon, 99 cents. You can, in my book, I talk about how Uncle Sam is our friend. And my goal in my book is to change the mind from the government's my enemy as an entrepreneur to the government is my friend as an entrepreneur. And this is one way. Right now, we just saw this. I just said it just now, 20 seconds ago. Abby, you get to deduct your hygiene feminine products as a medical related expense. You deduct it on your Schedule A if you are an individual filer, or if you come talk to me, there's a special loophole that you can enact that allows your business to pay for that on your behalf. And guess what, Abby? You're a female CEO company, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's a benefit you could offer all of your women employees.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Right? Make them loyal, make them happy. I mean, I do that with my own employees. I do everything I can in my power to make sure that they're empowered and that they're getting the fair value of what they do with me. And I mean, like Paige, she's already gone. She's already gone. And but like her, not like, we're like really tight. Why? Because I created that in my own industry, right? My own firm. Okay. So we got the message. If we're queer and we don't have insurance, you know who to talk to? Abby Vick. She found us an answer. So you got to connect with her. And again, one last time, in case you missed it, you can go to paradigm.com to see her website. You can hook up with her through email, abby@paradigm.com, and talk to her about these products. And you can tell that she's LGBTQ friendly. Hello. Otherwise, I wouldn't have her on. And of course, if you want to connect with her on Facebook, you can do that through the Paradigm Money Management LLC on Facebook. Go Google her, go Facebook her, hit the like button with her and follow her. And last but not least, if you're following me right now, I would love it if you guys would right now, this very moment, go and hit the subscribe button and make sure to click the alert button, because this is how you know. You guys know I'm very spontaneous. I came on today earlier giving a tax tip, and just a tip. A few weekends ago, I gave another tip. I do my regular show, right? Because I'm not. Hello, like a freaking genius. Like I'm all over the place. I mean, let's be real here. Nothing static keeps me down. Just saying. Can't put a you know what good down. All right. So, Abby, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Do this. Okay. So this came to me on my own. I would later learn that there's a whole industry out there around this. But on my own, I stumbled upon it because I was that guy that would constantly look at myself in the mirror, and I would look at my balding pattern, which is, you can see it a little bit. I was the guy that looked at my teeth and, oh, they're so crooked. Or I was a guy that looked at my face and was like, there's nothing cute about this. Everyone says I'm cute. For the record, I do now believe it. But people would say, you're cute, those dimples, or whatever. Or I would just like beat myself up. Like, oh, you fucked up today. You screwed up. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have said that. La 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 la. And I call that shame and guilt.
Mhm.
And shame and guilt, I discovered for my own self, and I'm sure for others, is it comes from the very beginning of time, from the moment that we're pushed out of our mother's womb. And it's in that instant of a moment when they slap the baby's butt and they say, it's a girl, it's a boy, it's this, it's that. All of a sudden, within billions of a second, all of the pressures of what people expect of us come crumbling down and are placed on us. You're a
Yeah.
boy, you're a girl, you're straight, you're Latino, so you should only eat beans and rice and chili. I can't, for the record, eat chili. There's all these different things they place on you, right?
Yeah.
And no one's doing it on purpose. It's just the human existence.
Mhm.
And so what we take on, I didn't even know this until again I started figuring this out. We start taking on this thing called guilt and shame. In religion they have a fancy name for it, the root of all evil, right? Or they call it the original sin,
Mhm.
right? But it's really self-guilt and self-shame about
Yeah.
who we are. And so we spend our entire waking lives from the time that we're born till right now, where people tell us how to act, sound, be, you name it, right? So because of that, this little voice that we hear, everyone hears it right now. That's not talking out loud, you're hearing a little voice. That little voice is the subconscious mind, in my opinion, that talks shit. That's the one that likes to talk shit to you.
Yeah.
Abby, don't do that. Don't say that word. Don't show up that way. I don't know if you should show up in a nightie wear on today's show. I don't know. That's the little fucking voice that likes to do shit.
Yeah.
So one day, I'm taking a shower. All great thoughts happen. And I got out of the shower and I happened to look at myself again. Who doesn't? Hello. And all of a sudden, I was like, you know what? I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. And so I talked to me. I talked to myself. And I allowed myself to talk to myself. Now, over the course of time, what I discovered is that the person looking back at me is not part of this world. It's not part of this realm. This, me, physically here in this moment, if I look like this, away from the microphone, I look this way, or if I look that way, right? Like this is my world I exist in. This is the world where I've been told that I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. I'm going to hell, that I'm all this, all the negative shit, right? Got some flab on my side, my junk is not the perfect size, all those other fun stuff. And I said, you know what? No. So I started talking to myself out loud. In case you can't tell, I'm a talker. So I started talking to myself out loud. And here's what I discovered. When we were talking out loud, the little voice that likes to talk shit can't talk. He's overridden, or it's overridden by your outspoken words.
Mm.
So the outspoken words, we have control over. Would you agree for the most part?
Mhm.
So this, we can control what we say. We can say, oh, you are beautiful. By the way, Abby, you are a very attractive woman. Like, you're very beautiful. Like, you can say to yourself, you're very beautiful. I love your hair. I love the length of it. I love this. I love that you're smart. I love that you're out on a mission to help women, right? Like, this is Abby, your own reflection wants to say these things to you too. And so what I discovered is that every time I look in the mirror, I only say positive things. I only verbally out loud allow myself to say nice things about myself, positive things. And what I discovered is over time, the little voice, the one that can't hear, begins to replace the negative talk with positive talk. And it begins to go, you got this, JB. And the thing about it is that our reflection, exactly, Mom, our spirit, I was gonna get there. You gave the punchline away. Our yes, our spirit, our soul. Every time I see my reflection now, anywhere in the mirror, right here in the video, looking back at me, I see my soul. I see my pure. Because you see, our soul has never been told the bullshit that we've been physically told. It's never been told that. No one's ever gone to your reflection and said, she's not smart enough, she's not brave enough, she's not right. No one's ever said that. They said it to you.
Yeah.
Right? So check this out. Mirror. Ta-da! In fact, this works so well that I feel so good. My clients come in here for a tax preparation session or a tax planning session. And they better watch out because I've already helped at least 2, 3, or 4 of them with doing this technique. So they come in here for tax work and I give them mirror work.
Love it.
I've got this little mirror. You can see there's my reflection. Oh, hello. Oh, what a nice profile you have.
That's good.
Oh, sexy. Fuck, you look good. Hey. So now when you start doing this, it feels embarrassing. Like it feels kind of weird, right? But this is what I say. Who in the hell's in your bathroom with you? You know what I mean? Like who's in the bathroom? Nobody. And if they are, well, then they're going to participate. But otherwise, who in the hell is in your bathroom? So talk out loud, right? So this is my mirror reflection. And well, he's kind of looking that way because of the way things are working. But if you notice, if I look at him, there he is. There you are back there. I see you. So that is my soul. That's Jonathan, my soul over there. And he does not know anything. He does. He doesn't know like the bad shit. Like he's never been called queer. He's never been called homo. He's never been called too short. He's never been called fat. He's never been called skinny. He's never been called any of that. So instead, all he wants to do is talk to you. But in this case, Abby's going to talk to Abby, your spirit, your soul, and you're going to let her come out and say hello. So I don't know, you can't really see it, but you can't really do it on the, yeah, this isn't going to work because of the way things are. But it feels, for the people that I work with on this, it feels weird because it's like, and it's embarrassing because I'm standing right here, right? But Abby, would you do me a challenge? Can I give you a challenge?
Sure, yeah.
Would you be willing to take your mirror in your bathroom and talk to yourself, but only in positives? And then get back to me after a few days and let me know how it turns out for you.
I will.
I would love it. And here's the thing. Let's be cautious. So I did this with one of my friends. And he got up there. And this is what I say. Abby, when you talk to Abby tonight after the show, right? Allow Abby to say hello to you. Allow her to give you compliments. Allow her to tell you how amazing and beautiful you are. Allow her to point out the beautiful things that she loves about you. Allow her to say all of that to you. Allow it. And so with that, lost my train of thought because we're not meant to say it apparently. So you're going to go do that and you're going to fall back in love with yourself. And here's the thing. Oh, that's the condition. But if you say, you're so cheery all the time, but so anytime a condition comes out, because earlier, like 20 minutes ago, what you were talking about, I was like, keep talking, and then I heard the condition come up, and that's why I had to stop you, right? Because I was like, no, because you're doing so good. So you find yourself placing a condition, which is the word "but," right? That's no longer your spirit talking to you. That's Abby here in the physical world talking to herself.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. See, everyone needs a Jonathan in their life.
That's right.
So
That's
good.
right. And in fact, you can be part of my world. But before that, though, that was a great conclusion to tonight's show. But I'm gonna let you conclude us, and then I'm gonna conclude us. This is the double whammy. Okay, Abby, listen, we're at 1 hour and 9 minutes. I don't really hold too strict of a timeline. But in closing, what reemphasize again who we work with, what do we do, how do we connect with you,
Mhm.
and and parting words of wisdom from Abby Vick.
Oh, it's the wisdom section. Uh, I work mostly with women business owners who are millennial or Gen X. You're in year 1 to 5 of starting your business, and you really want someone you can talk to about money, and you want a partner that you can trust about money. So that's what I really want to be. We're building wealth for the long term. We're going to be in a long-term partnership together because I really want to see you progress and I want to see you win. And part of that is changing the mindset, thinking about money differently. And part of it is finding out that there are way more tools and resources at your disposal than you ever knew about. And I'm happy to introduce you to all of them.
I love it. And one more time, listen, money, 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 money. It's all about the money. There's no shame, there's no guilt about it, about how much we
Right.
make, how little we make. It's about the money, money, money. And like she just said, it's about a partner. And of course, one other thing that we'll continue to reiterate, which is if you are in the LGBT community and we're dealing with HIV,
Mhm.
Abby Vick has a solution for you. So you got to connect with her, plain and simple. So,
Mhm.
in closing, I would like to say that if you've enjoyed my show today, I really, really am hoping and encouraging you to please subscribe to my show, hit the alert button. I'm trying to get to the elusive 100 subscribers. I think we're up to in the 50s now. So I'm super, super, super excited. The other thing, though, I'd like to ask of everybody out there is I don't know. I totally forgot. Oh, if you, my friends, would like to know how life insurance or your retirements, your Roths, your IRAs, your traditionals, your SEPs, your
Mhm.
contributions of various types, how it has a positive impact in your tax life, which will feed into Abby,
Mhm.
let's get naked at nakedtaxtalk.com. Or you can, of course, contact me at my other company, JB Financial, and yeah, or if you want, you can find out what type of bathrobe you are, which is your tax personality type, and get there by texting "Let's Get Naked," all one word, to 555 888. There you're going to meet Censorbot. That's my virtual employee who's going to check you in at the spa, and then when you're done checking in, he's going to hand you your bathrobe, which correlates to your tax type. So that's what you get when you meet Censorbot, and that's how you start to get part of my world. If you're an entrepreneur or wishing to become an entrepreneur, you can read my book, The ABCs of Deductions, An Entrepreneur's Guide to Tax Write-Offs by me, #1 best Amazon seller, #1 best Amazon author, and a #1 international best author. This book is 50 pages. I took out all the legalese, all the bullshit behind it that makes us all kind of cringe, and I retold it in a story. Here's what you're going to get when you're done reading my cute little book: your own chart of accounts, your own categories that you can take to your own accountant or for yourself or come to me, where you can now have the confidence to be able to gauge where you're spending your money so that you can come talk to someone like me or Abby and have a true, naked conversation about where you're spending your money. And then Abby's going to help you to find out where you can pull things out to put it away. And Abby knows this as well as I do. You, if a business owner, can contribute up to $56,000 and some change
Mhm.
if you're a business owner to your own retirement.
Yeah.
So that's key. And Abby, I'm sure, helps with this too, right, Abby? This is
I do. Yes.
hello, 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 hello. So, needless to say, you want to know how to save 15.3% overnight, and even though it feels long, get out there, buy my book.
Yeah.
And how do you get to my book? Well, ignore the at 11 a.m. thing because this is an old one, but you get there by going to https://bit.ly/ABCs of deductions. It'll take you straight to Amazon where you can buy my book for 99 cents to the end of this week, and then it goes up to a different price. But get your hands on it. It gives you all those deductions. It gives over 26 of them out of 400 and I think 50 or 70 tax deductions. I gave you the foundation. And Abby knows this, gave you the foundation of your expenses you can write off. Why? Because it means more money in your pocket, which gives you control about where you spend it.
That's right.
Am I right, Abby? What's
That's
the
right.
only expense in an entrepreneurship, Abby, in your opinion? What's the one expense a business owner has in business?
What's the one expense? I don't know this.
The only one is tax.
The only one is tax. Nice.
Yep. Everything else is an investment.
That's right. Love that.
Everything else is an investment, including investing in our future. So, in case you missed it, life insurance, Abby can hook you up with life insurance for a tax free income down the road. By the way, Abby, I forgot to say this when you were talking, and then I'm got to go, which is this. My mom, remember I told you, she corrected us and said $75 for the policy.
Yeah.
There were times when I remember my mom tapping into the life insurance policy to borrow against it. I
Mm,
remember those days, and it would have been like $100, or $20 here. But I
yeah.
remember she had that. She had that.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's so many options, so many strategies for life insurance. I was just talking about someone else. I mean, you can find me on my YouTube channel too, just Abby Vick, nice and easy.
Now you
And
tell them. He has a YouTube channel, Abby Vick.
kept it secret till the end, but covered this topic too. So yeah, so many strategies, so many options. Keep that in mind.
I love it. I love it. Well, Abby, thank you so much for being a guest here on my show. I really appreciate you taking some time and being here in your own bathrobe
Yeah.
and speaking about, I think we have some great topics. I also want to give a big thank you to, of course, my mother. She's my number one fan. That's pretty clear now. And I also want to give a big shout out to all of my fans and all of my followers and my clients and everybody out there, because to be honest with you guys, without your support, I could not be sitting here naked having this conversation with Abby. And so, with that, I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. For everybody out there that went out and bought my book on Tuesday to help me to become that number one best author, I cannot thank you guys enough. There's still time to get it. It's on pre-order, meaning because there's still some meaner little changes we're making. But the launch date, I mean, the date of delivery is July 21st. Otherwise, we might get it sooner if I can get it done sooner. But the point about this is, thank you so much. And again, thank you, Abby, for being a guest here on my show.
Yes. Thank you for inviting me. I had such a fun time. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're going to be off. And when I leave, I like to like fake dance and make noises and I don't know what else.